You know when you open a Spike Prime set for the first time and you feel lost in a sea of colorful pieces? So in this video I'll show you over 20 creations I designed for my starter course to inspire you and to prove that yes, you can actually build something real with that kit. And it all starts with one motor. Let's make a carousel for our minifigures. Add a Technic plate on the motor shaft, but like this it would spin freely. So we use this cylinder brick to lock the plate and make it rotate with the shaft. Then build some ride vehicles for the minifigures, and of course, stairs. They cannot fly. Let's add a few motor blocks to the program and run it. And there it goes! Let's crank up the speed and make them regret lunch. Motors are obvious outputs, but the Spike Prime hub has other outputs, for example, this insanely high-res display. And here's the challenge. Can you tell a story with only 3 icons? Sad face, music, smiley face. Music makes me happy. What's your idea for a 3-icon story? Drop it in the comments. Next output, the speaker. With it you can play real melodies. For example, we could program the famous Big Bang chimes, and while we're at it, let's build a tower for it. Then I will code 2 more melodies. Listen to this. And this. If you recognize either one, hit like and comment which one it was. Now let's use a motor again. See this crank? It takes rotation and turns it into back and forth motion. Let's add a second crank. Sync them with bevel gear so both sides move together. Throw on some colorful wings and you've got a butterfly that flaps its wings. And the best part, no coding needed this time. We use the built-in hard program and hook up the distance sensor to control speed. The closer you get, the faster it flaps. First rule of any robotics lab, security. So let's turn your Spike Hub into an intruder alarm and keep your siblings, or kids, out. Just these blocks, a hat block monitoring the distance sensor, and a light and sound blocks to flash and scream when someone gets too close. Watch what happens. Like this, it already works, but it's kinda lame. So let's give it a body. And now it looks like a real sentinel. Enough with loud noises. Did you know you could program a melody with actual Lego bricks? This music sequencer slowly spins its color sensor in a circle, reading the bricks. This ring is the whole program. Spinning tops are over 5,000 years old, so let's build a modern one. It just takes 2 Lego parts. But the motor's too slow, so we gear it up with a gear train. Less torque, way more speed. And now press the force sensor and the launch sequence starts. The hub has a built-in tilt sensor, so you can build a little wheeled robot and drive it just by tilting the hub like a remote. Tilt forward to drive straight, tilt back to reverse, and tilt left and right to steer. The only limitation is that the wires are pretty short, so you'll have to run after it. We want a little explorer robot that bounces off obstacles. The force sensor could detect the bump, but it won't tell us which side got hit. So instead, we use the hub buttons as bumper sensors. When the robot hits something, it clicks one of the buttons, and the robot turns in a different way depending on the side. Watch what happens when it meets a wall. In the real world, mobile robots go on missions. Here's one. A minifigure is stranded and can't walk. Rescue bot navigates to the target, nudges the minifig, and pushes it back to the base. That repeatable driving is the same foundation you'll need for real robotics competitions. And since we're talking about precision, what if we mount a pen exactly between the wheels? The robot becomes a drawing turtle, a classic idea in educational robotics. With the right movement settings, it can draw clean geometric shapes, polygons, stars, whatever you program. That's my tribute to Seymour Papert, who pioneered this idea, inspiring the Scratch language and LEGO Mindstorms itself. These minifigs are on a mission, a locked room with a badge scanner and an automatic gate. In one universe, they pick the right colored badge and the gate slides open and they slip inside. In another, they pick the wrong one. Mission is over. What if your robot had to decide hundreds of times per second? That's the principle behind a line follower. The color sensor doesn't follow the line, it follows the edge, the contrast between black and white. If it sees too much black, it curves this way, too much white, curve the other way, so it keeps riding that edge. Let's upgrade it by adding a third case. If it sees gray, we're perfectly on the edge, so go straight at full speed. Isn't it satisfying? The first time I built one, 20 years ago, I stood there watching it zigzag for a solid 10 minutes. Instead of following a line, you can make a robot that follows your hand, like a donkey chasing a carrot. Let's first add a rotating head that scans right, forward, forward, and whenever the sensor spots your hand, it drives that way. The code is basically quick decisions: hands on the right, turn right, hand ahead, go forward, and on the left, turn left. Honestly, it's simpler to build and program it than to control it. And if we chain multiple decisions together, we can tell a robot how to sort bricks by color. This robot holds the bricks on a gravity ramp and ejects one at a time with this pusher. The color sensor reads the brick and the ramp rotates like a turret to line up with the right beam, and then it drops the brick. This is just the starting point. Imagine a robot that sorts your entire LEGO collection by color and type and puts everything away for you. Alright, we've built robots that move, react and make decisions, but they've all been using sensor data live. What if the robot had to remember something from a moment ago? We need to give our robot memory. For example, imagine a robot driving around. When it sees an obstacle, scans left and right and then turns toward the side with more space to explore. To do that, it has to store the left distance, store the right distance, compare, and then turn. And to store those readings, we'll use something called variables. And once a robot can remember, that's when things get really interesting. Once you know memory, you can build something really satisfying. A robot that goes out searching for an object, grabs it, and returns exactly to where it started, not traveling by a fixed distance. It does it by saving the motor's angle at the start, so when it's done, it knows precisely how far to reverse to get back home. But computer memory is also perfect for keeping score in a game. My son got obsessed over this game at a toy store, so I built a LEGO version. You've got a launcher, a hoop, and a ball. Which, by the way, comes straight from the Spike Prime caster, so it's pure LEGO. I added this big backboard to keep wild shots from flying across the room. Every time the ball passes through the hoop, the sensor detects it and increases the score variable. The game is timed, and whoever scores the most wins. And please, no cheating. What if instead of storing one number, we store a whole pattern? This robot uses the force sensor like a drum pad. You tap the rhythm, it records the timing, and then it plays it back exactly. You tap, it records. You pause, and it becomes the percussionist. Let's try a couple famous rhythms. Comment which ones they are. We will rock you. The musician in me couldn't stop there. I built an almost full-size electric guitar you can actually play. And it's a surprisingly fun build challenge. Spike pieces are big, so it takes fewer parts than you'd think. The neck is braced, so you can grab it like a real guitar without it snapping. The distance sensor reads where your slider is on the neck to pick the note. And the best part, you can switch among many scales, for example, a major scale to play out real melodies, or a modal scale for blues-style solos where you can't hit a wrong note. All this jamming made me thirsty. Good thing I also built a vending machine. With a few clever shortcuts, you can actually pull this off with Spike Prime. A can magazine, a one-at-a-time ejector, and a coin slot where you pay with LEGO bricks. But the real challenge is the code. It has to be smart and fair. It tracks your credit, rejects fake coins, dispenses only when you've paid enough, and returns your money when you haven't. Another real-life game you can recreate in LEGO is a fairground shooting gallery. Don't worry, it's safe. No projectiles. The game tracks your aim with the hub's gyroscope. You've got a space blaster and 2 targets that pop up randomly. Aim and shoot at the right target while it's still up, or it doesn't count. You have to be precise. Fail 3 times, game over. Think that was tricky? Meet this cat. The only cat I'm not allergic to, by the way. And like a real cat, it's on its own schedule. One moment it wants cuddles, the next it's hungry and picky. Modeling that behavior is a serious programming challenge, the most complex project in my Spike Prime starter course. If you want to see how I designed this cat and how it actually works, watch the next video.